Alright, it's 2 a.m. Or is it? Actually, I don't even know. It might be 3 a.m. now. But obviously, as you can see, I'm at the gym. And I kind of told myself that I'd start doing a few of these a week. Just because I've been in a rut. And not like a rut as in work-wise. I've been getting shit done, but there's just something else, you know? There's like that euphoric kind of like underlying latent factor when you work. When you're just like reacting off of like hyper-stimulating information all the time and getting rewarded for it. That hasn't been happening. Which is like fine. It's like building up a tolerance, right, to like any sort of stimulant, which is something that I've also have to deal with. But fuck, what were my actual thoughts right now, bro? I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even fucking remember why I was doing this shit. Yeah. It's like some fucking thoughts. Some thoughts I've been having and some like workflows that I've been scheming on is that for the vast majority of people, these always on agents that run kind of like, you know, Hermes and OpenClaw and stuff, it's just like maybe it's what I want. Maybe I'm disconnected from reality, but what I'm trying to get it to do, it's like I'm always trying to like push the boundaries. I'm polluting context. Like there's always like, you know, it's just not simply able to do what I'm trying to get it to do. But maybe I'm trying to chain like very complex workflows, right? That might be better off like as like N8N kind of workflows over time. But obviously net time over time, there's a lot of improvement in the agents, both from the original repository side and then like how you are managing your memory and context and stuff. So I've noticed that kind of some tricks that have been getting it to work better lately versus from before, because a lot of stuff I can still do faster manually than I could with cron jobs or whatever that are running on a Hermes agent or whatever for the purposes that I needed to get stuff done. And you know, it might even be better as just like a workflow I set up individually outside of an agentic kind of component. But it's always because I'm trying to bite off more than I can chew and I'm trying to do too much at one time. For the vast majority of people, I'm sure it's like incredibly easy to set up super simple like digests and reports, but trying to get it to do like actual more complex workflows, work with more complex skills, and, you know, kind of run the end-to-end business stack that, you know, people LARP about on X and just post articles like talking about how they're like doing all this shit. They're not. I feel like if they were, bro, like put me on. Like I'm not even gonna lie, put me on, because I have a shit ton of agents running, you know, 24/7 right now, even on servers in cloud, on my Mac Mini, or, you know, on my like local server, and then even on my MacBook, which I keep plugged in all the time. You know, sudo pm set disable sleep 1. I have shit running on that too. And I have like these like repair kind of workers, like codex sessions, like long running codex sessions, and I have like a few codex plans right now. And they go in and they kind of like go through the logs, trace logs of everything that I'm working on and the Hermes agent and like stuff like that, and, you know, find shit that it can fix. And Hermes itself does it itself with the, you know, continuous self-improvement loop and whatnot as well. But like some of the constraints that I still run into, like beyond like one of the constraints being like just tabbing up continues on codex all the time overnight, which works, and then like giving it like certain instructions on like to stop, which also worked, and I didn't think it would work, that I'm like, if these criterion are met, stop, and then like it would do it after like 6 or 7 hours, 8 hours even. Surprising, you know, I was happy about that. But I think some tips I've learned honestly is like you need to prune, like have like a pruning cron job even. You need to like cut shit out of your stuff, because there's like gonna be like a shit ton of dead pointers sitting around to like files that were moved, right? And I'm trying to get it to work in like a mounted Google Drive, and it's like trying to like write to files that don't even fucking exist or on a different account. So if you have like a shit ton of accounts, passwords, and, you know, like maybe even multiple businesses to manage, you know, the delegation and separation of like how you do things is going to take more time. Like I have actually more than one Hermes profile running right now on a single server, and then each has its own CDP port, each has its own logins, one password CLI and stuff, and all that has kind of made it significantly better to to work with. Even then, there's still going to be some constraints that it's not able to do. I finally got a better with some of the more complex ECC skills that I made, but I still find myself manually invoking them just as a overall better flow. With some recent updates, it seems to be able to find the skills better than before. And I'm just kind of like spilling right. I'm just kind of ranting about my issues, and it kind of like that kind of like obsessive mindset to fucking to automate everything. Kind of like almost it kills your vibe to some degree. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it kind of kills my vibe a little bit, as opposed to when I was just doing it for the love of the game. But there are like menial shit that needs to be automated. But like the amount of time it took me to spend to set up automations, I probably could have gotten a lot of like real work done instead. But I just like love setting up automations. It's like an obsessive fucking thing, right? You just think you can outsource everything, and there's things that I won't ever outsource because that's like me. That's like the shit that I like to do. It's my personality, and this is one of them. I'm like thinking to myself, like, why the fuck would I get in a Hermes agent to like give me ideas? Like if I'm in a rut, then like it's over. It's like why why the fuck is the agent gonna tell me like what to talk about? Like no, dude, it's like that shit gotta come from within. That brings me to my next topic: how to get out of a rut. So like recently, I'm not even gonna lie, I went stim free, like semi stim free. Even without that shit, like forget about like neurotransmitters, and forget about like modulating your serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine levels and all that, and being on stims, not being on stims, on eugeriox and whatever the fuck whatever wakefulness agents you're on. It's just like you get the dependency, just like how you get the dependency on LLMs, just like how you get the dependency on like what your new bar of like normal is like to be set, just like how I get dependency from fatigue in the gym, from certain exercises, weight, whatever you want to call it, even diet to some degree. Yeah, I'm trying to run like a true neural reset. And I don't mean like I'm just gonna mega dose like shrooms or something like that, though low key maybe. But I'm probably gonna run like a repair cycle, and it's been kind of tough to like find, or there's some shit that I like wanna kind of try that I'm like thinking about. Like I feel like a minor repair cycle, right? Like I don't know how the fuck I just got from talking about agents to biohacking, but I'm low-key gonna tie this back in, or probably not because I'm just spitballing right now. It's okay. Anyways, like think about the stack, right? Like you think like neurotransmitter repair could be done on my end? Honestly, just like down-regulate like my caffeine, like bring my caffeine down to like 1 to 200 a day, calm, right? And then like simple stuff like first, obviously, like what I did is like partition caffeine into theocrine and caffeine. Obviously my creatine is like 10 to 15 G's a day. Like this obvious stuff, kind of like switch between alpha GPC and cytidine, omega-3, vitamin D3 plus K2, magnesium, threonate or glycinate at night, glycinate, sorry. There's a few other things you could be doing that I just don't do. Like taking glycine before I sleep, but I just, it's like there's too much powders and shit, it's like you gotta reduce for friction, but could be doing that, right? I have it. But like I'm just telling the ones that I'm consistent about. And then there's gonna be NAC, right? There's all that can be like kind of regulating and helping out with some of those levels, and then there's gonna be like stuff that is prescription. There's gonna be like Vyvanse, there's gonna be like Ritalin, there's gonna be like bupropion maybe even. And if like you're trying to like uptake your other levels and you're kind of doing like weird like balancing stacks between norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin, you might have like a weird ass stack. Like I like weird ass like buspirone, like bupropion, like fucking with Vyvanse stack, but like low key it's just not cutting it for me. So hopped off, just cycling off that right now, and just doing the theocrine. Honestly, is like the only kind of stim, if you want to even call it that. Right now, you mess around with modafinil, but like modafinil was kind of like I wasn't finding the right pairing, But I think like a new stack is like every once in a while I would like run a race tam, like every once in a while. But some of the stuff that did work well was like daily CMAX, honestly. So like new stack right now, what I'm probably gonna be running, right? Just like get the shit all going, is like semi consistently or consistently is gonna be is every day is like CMAX and C length, and then bromantane, and then no bromantane on the weekends pretty much, and then occasionally I'll throw in like something like FL modafinil, occasionally throughout the week, or a race tam, probably phenylprastane, like depending on what day it is. Just kind of like bunch it up like that, and then again weekends just go kind of lower on the stims, pretty much for recovery. Then there's a epithalon, talon, however you say it, and pineal, that daily kind of for a singular cycle, not like daily consistently, but for a singular kind of a repair cycle right now, coming off all this shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to get out of this rut and just perform like at an incredibly high kind of level that I haven't been performing at, like, or at least how I hold myself haven't been performing at. But what I really need to do, like what I've been really trying to get on, is like I don't want to, but I just can't get my hands. Like I don't know if like fucking places are out or what's going on, but cerebral lysin, like I was trying to run, like what I was actually trying to do was run like a light, not like a light, but like a normal cerebral lysin cycle here, But I'm just gonna do the pineal and epithalon right now, regardless, and hopefully that with the switch kind of will be ease off, because like bromantine for the kind of like dopamine, just get that over there, and then you have your wakefulness agents throughout the week, and you have like your other kind of pathways for into nootropic kind of capabilities, and then obviously there's other shit that like I don't think I mentioned, like it's like salt intake, potassium intake, like all that shit is kind of like obvious as well for performance. Tyrosine, also kind of obvious, and then yeah, I mean, there's like other shit that I experimented with, which is like pointless because it takes time to saturate in your system, and like honestly, I don't think like it's potent compared to like whatever its underground counterparts are. So like lion's mane, KSM-66, and yeah, mainly those two. And there's like others in that kind of bunch, berberine. But like I'm like, bro, like berberine's cool, but like why not just take Retta at that point, right? Like I mean, like if that's what you're trying to do, like that's what I'm gonna do, right? But yeah, I mean, fuck. I mean, I just need to get my shit like together. But all right, fuck all that, honestly. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna run like a repair cycle on the neurons and see if that's kind of like bringing anything. But coming back to agents, right? Similar to like how I'm about to run this like neuron fucking like cycle, repair cycle on, and hopefully like come out like plus ultra or some shit. Superhuman or whatever. Not really, I just need a fucking recovery period from stuff. There's going to be there's something similar to that repair, which has like been a lot of my focus has been on that within agents, right? Within like the harness itself, like this like kind of like self-repairing, kind of self-fixing tool that also it's one step below. Like self-repairing and self-fixing is here, and then there's one step above that, which is prediction. And like prediction would be to then create new kind of course new skills, new like autonomously take more agency and create new crons or whatever jobs, or make recommendations and do things of that sort. Problem is like it's just too risky, right? Like repairing, cool, like you can kind of give it on that, but like if it wants to do that other stuff, even if you try to get it to, usually like it's not exactly what you were looking for. It misses the mark even with proper context. You have your memory system set up, you have everything set up properly. Misses the mark slightly. And depending on how critical what you're doing is, if it's consumer, if you're okay with sending out swap emails and stuff like that, then all right, whatever. But personally, like I don't think like I don't like when I receive those things like in my email and I know that OpenClaw or something wrote it, like I'm sorry, that's just going straight to the spam. It's going straight to the trash, right? And same on like LinkedIn and on X. So like, that shit's not hitting my filter, but it's not there yet. It's like all the stuff that you actually want to do, like GTM, inbound, outbound, like It's just there's like some shit I can do, but until like it's able to agentically like adapt. And I know that like there's you can run like post training RL like loops onto your own data and stuff like that, and it's helped. Don't get me wrong. I think it's getting better, and if I do have more data in the coming weeks of me continuously improving our systems, because I'm using this system, this like always on agent is like a replacement to just using a bunch of other SaaS services to kind of replicate the same workflows that I need for my company. Yeah. And then like take care of the hardest problems that you need to do manually, of course, and free up more time, right? And just lower your overall cortisol levels, like shit that you kind of want. Like you want like a morning digest, maybe you want like, what do you want? Like you want to like know shit got done and shit got done right overnight or whatever it may be, as opposed to like nah, like if it's as simple as I just need to review something and just press execute, and then it all looks good at like a 70, even 75% of the hit rate, I'll take that as like a huge win. I just don't feel like it's completely there yet, but it's getting better. Some of the skills that I'm making are kind of like intended for that type of flow. Now I'm kind of also making my own operator plan, just like everyone else is. Everyone else is kind of making their own. I wouldn't call it harness though. I'm like kind of not against, but I'm kind of not for the direction that like harnesses, in the sense of recreating them for like a small feature change is really worth doing much. But it does make sense to have a curated control plane, right? That interface is still not there, because if that interface was there, then I wouldn't be even bothering using like a Telegram gateway into an agent that sits on my computer, as opposed to just using Claude Desktop or something. That jump isn't being made. There's something missing, and it's not just me. It's because I've tried. It's like there's something missing there. And even with the format that the actual Telegram gateway agent sits in, there's still something missing. I find myself needing to Termius into my fucking, actual whatever machine is off my phone, and then like also have TMUX sessions just like open and waiting to be prompted over time, which is more effective. Now you would probably just say, oh, doesn't that like prove that just like having a simple SSH session into a codex and just having a bunch of those set up? Like, no, that's not like the ideal solution either. Even if you have them running on loops, using some of the skills in ECC or other, it's not like the perfect solution, which is why obviously I've been working on for ECC 2.0. When I say I've been working on, it's like I'm doing it for myself and I just share it with everyone else. And like if people like it, then clearly people do, but it's like shit's doing pretty well. Not trying to, you know what I'm saying, but shit, like, but anyways, yeah, fuck. I should probably just finish my workout. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. But yeah, anyways, we're not like completely there yet, but we're getting there. And the second this shit clicks for me, right, it's actually so over for everyone else. It's over for you guys. Like, you're cooked. It's like I'm just about to print. I'm about to print like fat fucking deals, right? Like for me, the benchmark is like, can I like use agentic systems to like close a shit ton of enterprise clients, institutional clients, and then like actually like also make like incredibly like good infrastructure changes, systems changes to product, and just scale exponentially. And also marketing is part of that. Marketing, personal brand, whatever you want to call it. And then like I just don't have cortisol or friction when I'm doing these things. That just makes me want to like give up, and I'm like, what the fuck? These tools are shit. Like it would have been quicker for me to just fucking record a video and just fucking like edit it myself in CapCut, and then fucking, like I just feel like I'm still faster at some of these things, even though I've actually created pretty like decent working pipelines that don't require, third-party tools, as many third-party tools as you would think, that would like autonomously kind of get some of this shit done. And it's cool, like, you can get your like remotion, you can get your like, there's stuff you can do, but like, again, those, to me, that's all B-roll, right? Having a system set up, like for example, like I have a system set up for video generation, right? And that video gen system is like maybe some people have seen the clips or something. It just works like this. Like it, you have like you have like something like this type of script going. Then you run, Whisper by opening or 11 Labs or something like that on it. Transcript, timestamps, all of that, and then FFmpeg sample like frames, depending on what it is. Frame every few seconds, a frame a second, maybe more. It's just gonna be a difference in compute and like cost to you. Have codecs like take that, make those cuts, and then once all the cuts are done, everything like that, you have like your you have transcript, you have cuts, you have all that going for you. Then you can then run B-roll as well. So now that those areas are cut out, where those cuts happen, like it can create B-roll, Fal AI, generate clips. Use Manim, use Remotion. You're able to generate kind of clips that go in between some of these sessions, and like actually kind of make some decent videos. But like a majority of the work, I still feel like I want to do it myself. Like I don't know why. Just like when I take over, I'm like, bro, this shit low key. I still have to do a lot of manual at the end, and it does make some things easier. Don't get me wrong. It's just like it's not autonomous. It's not agentic truly. Like I'm agentic. The fucking system isn't really, that barrier still kind of sits there. Personally speaking, like I don't know, maybe some of you guys have cracked it like really good, and I'm just like tripping or something. In which case, like, book a meeting with me or something. Teach me something, if you were, will. And if it's like honestly like fire, like honestly I'll even pay you or something. But where it's at right now, I don't know. It's like. But, then in that exact same video, what I'll do is I'll use something like VecCut API to like create a timeline out of that. And then it'll be able to actually create a timeline and put it on CapCut, because that VecCut API MCP will just create the timeline, make it in CapCut. Now that I'm in CapCut, it has all the B-roll already in there. It has like my clips, it has timestamps. Then in CapCut, like the AI is actually not bad, or like, you can run like some quick stuff at that point. You can either run, you can either like talk with the autopilot thing, or, you can just make your own like manual cuts and start moving shit around, and then apply your video kind of effects and audio effects or whatever it is that you need to do. And at that point, it's like, okay, cool. It's like, it's like we're kind of there. But again, like that last kind of step still will take time, because it's like, to me, it's like, if this shit does not look right, why the fuck am I gonna post it? Which is also a reason why I'm in this rut in the first place. It's self-inflicted wounds. It's self-inflicted that like, and it's not perfectionism. Don't get me wrong. It's like, it's not that the outcome of like what the reason why I'm not gonna be posting or like making some is perfection. It's just like a vibe. It's like the vibe's not feeling right to me. It's not like a perfect. Like I post imperfect shit all the time, but like the vibe's feeling right to me, I'll post it. But. And I kind of need to get over that, right? It's like that initial hurdle, and you could say that, oh, like that's just agency. Like, no, not completely. Like, I'm still being agentic. It's like something else is, Fuck, man. It's just like I've been kind of speaking for like 25 fucking minutes at this point, but. All right. Anyways, I'm probably gonna finish out this pump. I gotta get back, and I'll move into New York City in like 2 fucking days, guys. That's kind of exciting. I don't know. Is it? I mean, exciting to me, but damn. Oh, I still haven't even talked about why. I mean, I can't, but probably will be able to soon. Some exciting shit that I'm working on. Outside of, obviously, open source and, agent harness stuff. And biohacking. Like, none of that shit is really like what I'm doing. But no, we got some shit cooking at Ito right now. We've been dialed. We've been dialed in. For sure. And a lot of this new discovery is me shifting from some of the other, like the style of like my development, posting and everything was kind of really catered towards even almost a consumer developer or DevRel, maybe small business SMB. Complete flip when it comes to institutions. Like nothing that I actually say or do matters too much on my X. It's just like what I what you do, like what you're able to offer at that point, right? And having automations for those type of things is just like way more complex, which is maybe why everyone thinks they want to build an enterprise or institution instead of building consumer. I would almost argue the opposite. It's just like, if you're good at whatever this is, I would just say that build consumer, honestly. Like, you can actually print. You can actually print if you have traction and you're able to do this for a good amount of time. But it's like a challenge that I want to take, and I think it's like something that I've always wanted to get better at, selling and more personal relationships and fostering those relationships as opposed to just being that guy who just fucking talks to people online and himself very frequently. Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't know where I'm going with this. Felt like posting one long form video like this. I think my next one is going to be on like prediction markets. Like, I want to do a good one on PMs and some of the more fascinating stuff I've been working on in terms of modeling, in terms of pricing out risk exposure, and utilizing like these type of flows in actual institutional portfolios and flows, and what that looks like. Not might looks like, but what that does look like now. Right? I think that's like an incredibly interesting thing, of which I can talk maybe a little bit about it, right? There are aspects around that are just, you know, that we can talk about, and there's a lot of aspects that we just can't, which is okay. I mean, that kind of makes things exciting, but I don't know. This is almost a 30-minute video. I don't know how much of this shit I'm gonna cut out, but all right, that's it. Imperfect, imperfect setup, person, everything, but that's okay.